Good morning, Taylor. I just wanted to catch you up on what you missed and kind of give you a little bit of feedback. So if this takes a few minutes, give me just a minute. No, a few minutes, I guess. Okay, so I noticed that you left the last assignment with a little bit of a downer towards education because you're like, oh my gosh, you have to, you're working so hard, you have to get so many degrees to get paid not a super lot. But I wanted to share the intro to that lesson, which I don't believe was available online. We talked about it in class. So here it is. And we talked about how much money do you need to be happy. And there's an article that was on this section. And as we went through it, I need to make this screen a little bit bigger. There you go. Okay, so you can see the article down there at the bottom, I think, or maybe my thing's covering it up, I'm not sure. But basically we read it and it was all about how much money do you need to really be happy, and it was based on some research. The article says that between 75 and 95,000, depending on the study that you look at, is really the optimal amount for happiness. If you make more than that, it doesn't really increase your happiness. There is a point where if you're lower than that, then it affects. So you're kind of looking at that $70,000 to $90,000 range as like that's primo happiness area in life in terms of the amount of money that you make. So then it brought up the question of how much money is a lot of money. So what's the average income for a family of four here in Forsyth County? Well, the average in Forsyth County, 96,000. Now, I've seen some where it varies into the 80s or 100,000s depending on the site that you go to. But basically, we're comparing ourselves to, that's kind of the average here, which if you look at like just a single teacher, you're making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, you're considerably below that. But if the household income, if you have two people that are making money, one of them's making 50,000, the other one's making 50,000, boom, you're right in the medium household income, your average here in Forsyth County. Now that brought up the next question, what's the average in the state of Georgia, which was 58,000? Considerably lower. So when we compare ourselves to others here in Forsyth County, we're not really getting an accurate picture of like overall what's the average amount. Forsyth County is one of the wealthiest counties in actually the entire country, but definitely I believe it is the wealthiest county in the state of Georgia, which makes comparisons a little bit hard. And sometimes we're just comparing ourselves to these really rich people. And we're like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything, when really we have lots of stuff. And then the household income in the United States. So that brought us to, how do you compare yourself? And so we had this little mini lesson that we did, and we pulled up this site, which is called How Rich Am I? And basically, if you stick in the number of adults, so you change this out, and this is a nonprofit organization, so take it with a grain of salt, but oops, not 4 adults, it's two adults. Let's say you have 2 adults, 2 kids, family of 4. And your income is that 96,000, which was here in Forsyth County. Just for perspective, compared to the rest of the world, you make $96,000. Where do you fit in terms of overall wealth? You are in the top 3% in the entire world, which means that 96.7% of the people in the world are poorer than you. So when you're comparing yourself to everybody that lives around you here in Forsyth County, you're comparing yourself against the richest of the rich, not necessarily a fair comparison. Now, you could go back, do it again, do it with the state average. Let's do 50, I think it was like 57,000 or something like that. You stick this in here. And boom, you're still in the top richest 9% in the entire world. So it's kind of changes your perspective maybe just a little bit when you think, okay, so I'm making $60,000 as a teacher. If it's just me, not even including a potential spouse, you can look at it and say, well, maybe that is a decent living wage. Maybe I can have the life that I want, especially knowing that the optimal, according to research, the optimal level for happiness is between that 70 and 90,000. You can hit the 70,000 or 75,000 just on a single teacher pay scale. If you have 2 incomes, you can easily hit that target. So I don't want to scare you off just because of the money. And so I feel like a little bit of perspective is important. I feel like you can earn a decent living wage. Yes, it does help to get degrees. The other thing that I noticed on your responses was that maybe you misread a couple of the questions on the overall, like how much does the degree gain you? It gains you. You move from a bachelor's to a master's, and it gains you between $6,000 and $8,000 per year. So if you do that over 20 years, that's $175,000 to $200,000 over the course of your career. If you earn that specialist degree, which is another year and a half, which you can do while you're working, so it's not like you're just going straight through school. Again, you're earning another $6,000 to $8,000 additional. So compared to the bachelor's, that's an extra, $15,000 per year, a person with a specialist compared to a person with a bachelor's. You take that over the course of 20, 25 years, and you're looking at like $300,000 difference, which is a pretty significant amount of money. So this video is getting a little bit long, and I'm going to move into what we're doing today. What we're doing today is we're going to be looking at our new assignment, which is the Putting Your Passion on Display project. And you're going to have two choices, and I'm not going to go through all the examples with you on the video. I'm going to let you do that. But basically, you're going to have several days. When you come back, we're going to be working on this next week. This is the summative project, and we're looking for a very quality product. In the first summative and the first unit, I said, I just want you to finish something. I want you to show me that you can upload a video. Quality was not really what we were looking for. We were just looking, can everybody go through the process of submitting an online video document? On this assignment, you're going to have two choices. You can either create a spoken word, which there are several examples of this, about a topic that breaks your heart, something that's really close to, like why you are passionate about something you're passionate about. And it shouldn't be like cheerleading or gymnastics or, something that's just like a hobby. It should be something that, a way to make a difference. And you can see the examples that are there. It could have to do with special education. It could have to do with mental wellness. It could have to do with gifted education and how kids aren't challenged in school. It could have to do with creativity. Something along those lines and you can see and watch the examples and hopefully it'll make more sense. But that's what you would be designing in option one. Option two, you're going to be you have the option to make an elevator pitch where you kind of pitch yourself. And again, in this one, you should be focusing on your why, like what's really important to you. If you're becoming a teacher, why would you want to become a teacher? And basically the premise is...
Good morning, Tea House. Hope everybody...
Sorry, you're going to get the morning announcement.
Nasty weather out, but with that, as you know, we go ahead.
All right, now that he's done talking, let me finish this up. And I know I'm getting really long, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But basically, in this case, you're looking for a chance to sell yourself to a potential employer. And what would you want to lead with? You wouldn't want to lead with just, I want to be a job as a teacher and I really like kids. You would want to create this pitch in a way that, you're standing there and you're able to present yourself as a professional and somebody that really is passionate about a topic. So similar to the one above it, you would want to focus on something that has to do with your why. Like, maybe you were not engaged or challenged in school, and so you're passionate about helping students who are academically gifted and want to provide them a challenge. Or maybe you struggled with a disability in school and you want to help students who also have disabilities. Something along those lines that kind of brings out that passionate or compassionate side of yourself. Hopefully when you see the examples, this will make sense and you'll get excited about it. Know that you'll have today to work on it, as well as next week when we come back from fall break. We'll have several days because it's a big project and I would like to see some really quality products. So if you have questions, please ask. I'm excited about this project. I think we can really put some cool stuff out there. So, all right, have fun.